Hi guys, it's Matt here. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing fabulous. I'm back with another review, and I know it's been months since my last review, and I do apologize. A lot have happened since my last video. I moved house, I did a bunch of other things, and obviously it was Christmas and I had loads of work to do around Black Friday, and I kept on putting off doing the videos. Anyway, I'm gonna explain this a lot more detail, well, a little bit more detail at the end of the video, but today and right now I would like to talk about a pair of running shoes that I've been sent a few weeks ago, and I've been testing them, and I was very excited to actually put this video together, a video review about these shoes. The shoe in question is the New Balance Fresh Foam X More V4, which is the fourth iteration of New Balance's, well, it's max cushioned daily trainer, and I have been running in these shoes, as I said, for a few weeks now, and I have some opinion about these shoes, and I would like to share this with you today, guys. And in the process, I would like to share 4 things that I really like about the shoes, 2 things that I guess I don't necessarily like about the shoes, and at the end give you a bit of a piece of my mind, but whatever. So at the end, I would like to talk about whether kind of give you a bit of advice whether you should buy the shoes or not. I also happen to have the 1080 V12, the Fresh Foam X 1080 V12, which I've been using extensively in the last few months, so I managed to get a bit of a comparison of the 2 shoes. Anyway, without further ado, let's get down to the review. But before we get into the review, I want to give a big thank you, a shout out to New Balance and their PR company, not only for sending me the shoes, but also I want to thank you, New Balance, for inviting me for the London Marathon last year. It was my first London Marathon. It was a great experience, and I'm very, very grateful that I could go, because I know a lot of people have been applying for the ballots for years, and they can't get they can't experience what is the London Marathon. It was just an awesome experience altogether. So yeah, big thank you for New Balance for the invitation. All of this said, this review is not biased whatsoever. Whatever I'm going to say in this review is my own opinion. I didn't discuss any of this with New Balance or their PR company. So again, these are all my thoughts exclusively. And my thoughts on it. Let's start the review with the specifications of the shoe. So the New Balance Fresh Foam X More V4. I might just refer to this shoe as a More V4, because otherwise half of this video review is going to be me trying to pronounce the name of the shoes. So I'm going to be referring to the shoe as More V4. So the More V4 has been launched, I think it's last August, maybe August 2022. I couldn't find any like a specific date for like a launch date. I think these shoes have actually been out in the US for a few months now. I found reviews from last August. However, in the UK, it's just being launched in the UK, so hence why I'm doing the review now. Anyway, so the shoe cost $150 or £140 in the UK, and as a matter of fact, I think because it's been out for a few months now, in the US you can already buy it for $20 cheaper, even directly from New Balance. So this is a pretty good value for money max cushion trainer from New Balance. The shoes have a 4mm drop, so a 4mm heel to toe drop, and I think it's 34mm under the heel and 30mm under the forefoot. I did try to find this information out from New Balance, but they haven't got back to me before I started making this video. Approximately 34mm under the heel and 30mm under the forefoot. This is a US size 11 or a UK size 10.5 men's shoe, and it weighs 11.9 ounces or 338 grams. So again, for a max cushion shoe, it's not it's not terribly heavy. It's not a light shoe as such, because they are like much lighter shoes. So what is the New Balance Fresh Foam X More V4? Sorry, I actually pronounced the full name. So this is a max cushion daily trainer from New Balance. It is the 4th iteration of the More franchise, I would say. The new thing about the More 4 is the same as what was new about the new 1080 V12 and then the 880 V12 as well, as that these shoes use the Fresh Foam X foam, which is an updated plusher version of the Fresh Foam, and as well as that, the Fresh Foam, so the More 4 uses more of this Fresh Foam X, so there's more foam underfoot. That said, as I mentioned, the stack height is not like illegally high as in the SuperComp Trainer. It's still well under the limit set by the World Athletics. It's just chunky. It's wide, it's tall. There's just a lot of foam going on essentially on these shoes. Daily trainer again for long miles, long runs, high mileage training as well. If you look at these shoes, what is the first thing that comes to mind? And I think that thing is going to be, oh, is this a Hoka running shoe? So this running shoe essentially looks like a Hoka trainer, like not necessarily the Mark 5, but maybe like something like the Bondi 8, because this is just like you got this big wedge of a midsole, and then you got like a smaller, tighter upper, and even like this swallowtail geometry, and then like this little curved heel counter. It essentially looks like the Bondi 8 or other Hoka running shoes. In my eyes, that's not a bad thing, because I love Hokas, I love New Balance as well. So I guess I looked at it as an exciting opportunity to try something that is kind of like an official collaboration between the two brands. Max Cushion Daily Trainer for a lot of mileage, high mileage runs. The 4 things I like about the shoes, the first of them being, again, kind of gave it away already, is the amount of cushioning that's going on in these shoes. I mean, this is crazy. If you look at it, there is just like insane amount of cushioning going on. For comparison, let me just hold up the 1080 V12. Let me just see if I can get them all in the frame. There you go. So again, the 1080 V12 has already been like kind of like a chunky shoe. But if you look at the extra foam especially under the heels, is pretty crazy. Interestingly enough, the stack height of the shoes, I think on paper is the same. Again, let me just hold it up for you so you can see. So the stack height is supposed to be the same, but the 1080 V12 has a higher drop. So, but again, there's just you can feel the extra foam under your foot with this one. It's just super chunky, really. The second thing I like about the shoes is the rocker shape. Again, it's similar in my eyes. It's kind of similar to Hoka's early stage Meta rocker. So there is this rocking. Again, let me just like hover into the screen like this. So you got this rocker shape. Let me just there you go. You can see there's at the front, it kind of curves up quite significantly, and then you got the soft mid, kind of like straight middle section, and there's another sort of rounded heel area here. The rocker is quite pronounced when you run in the shoes, and not just that, but if you look at the it's not rigid, but like apart from this little bend at the front, it doesn't really bend the midsole, which makes you run in a very, well, I would say specific way, because it's not, the shoe kind of forces you to run this way, but you're also going to run this way because of the rocker, if that makes sense. The third thing that I really like about the shoes is again the looks. I love New Balance shoes. I still wear the 1080 V12 almost on a daily basis for walking and then just going to the office, or obviously for running and then jogging and stuff. And the more V4 has a similar look, but again even more kind of, it's like a caricature, I would say. It's like a caricature of the 1080 V12 in a sense that it has like this massive chunky midsole, has like a smaller upper, the curves around the heel are more pronounced, and then you got obviously the New Balance kind of logos as well. But even so, it's kind of understated. I love the the bright colors as well. I think it's just a really cool shoe, and if you like these kind of Max Cushion trainers with like the chunky midsole, I mean, I can't see you not liking these shoes, because it just looks pretty in an understated way. And then the fourth and final thing that I like about the More 4 is again it's all relative. Again, probably 5-6 years ago, if I told you that a $150 shoe is reasonably priced, you would have probably said, "Oh, are you crazy?" However, now I would say this is a good price for a shoe with these specifications, with these looks from New Balance. Again, it's a big brand, $150. If you think about it, like the 880 V12, which also has the fresh foam X foam, but it's like half fresh foam X. That has the same recommended retail price as the More 4, and I mean, I do like the 880 V12. But this, I think this is like a better shoe, like altogether, or like in general than that one, and a cooler shoe as well. So if you're after like a half sneaker shoe that you can actually use for running training, then the more V4 is probably for you, or like a better option for you than the 880 V12. Okay, so now that I talked about the 4 things that I like about the More V4, let's talk about 2 things that it's not that I'm not a huge fan, but like I guess it might be off-putting to some people. The first of them being is the rocker and is that rigidity I mentioned earlier. So let me just show this to you again. It doesn't really bend. Again, there are no plates or anything in these shoes, just this massive, foam wedge thing here. So only the front of the shoes bend, and then there's obviously not a lot of torsion, like sort of. There's a bit of rotation going on. The shoes will help you run more efficiently if you're a beginner runner, and if you like to run this if you go for like a longer session, it will help you stay in this like sort of autopilot mode. A stiffer midsole, which I guess if you're like an intermediate or pro runner, and then you just want like a general daily trainer, this might not be the best option for you because it will make you run in a very certain way. And the second thing that I don't like is that, as I said, this is basically a hooker trainer, and I'm not sure if everyone who likes New Balance agrees with the kind of like a quite obvious taking it on board how hooker shoes look like and how they designed. Again, for me, the quintessential New Balance trainer is the 1080 V12. And this is kind of like again like an unofficial collaboration between Hoka and New Balance, with the New Balance branding, but a lot of Hoka design and technology kind of thing, if that makes sense. And I don't think that's everyone's cup of tea. That's all. Should you buy the New Balance Fresh Foam X more V4? It's an interesting question because I very much like these shoes, and I like the shoes the same reason why probably some people might not like these shoes. This looks like a hooker, behaves like a hooker, feels like a hooker on your foot, and I love hookers. I also love New Balance, and I particularly like the Fresh Foam X, and I love the New Balance experience, plush running experience, and then it kind of these shoe kind of brings it all together into one shoe, and then this is the more for me. That said, obviously it's a new shoe, so I appreciate this might not be an issue later on, but you can get the 1080 V12 for like 2/3 of the price of this one, not to mention the 880 V12. So again, unless you want a max cushion daily trainer from New Balance, like that is specifically for one purpose, it might be hard to justify the price of these shoes when you can get these shoes. Again, I appreciate that they're not for the same purpose, but again, I appreciate that some people, there are people who are not going to be able to like, oh, I'm going to buy this for $150 and I'm going to buy this for $100 and just use this for this and use that for that. So for those people, would I recommend the V4 over the 1080 V12? Probably not, because this is an amazing running shoe and it's New Balance and it's Fresh Foam X, so kind of ticks a lot of boxes. However, this one is also a pretty cool shoe for a specific purpose, and again just looks pretty cool. Again, I do like the look of this as well. I would highly recommend it for the stuff that I mentioned before. If you just want daily trainer, get a 1080 V12. And as for rating, I give the New Balance Fresh Foam X more V4. I'm not sure how much should I think I'm gonna give it 85 out of 100 swallows because of the swallowtail heel, because it's a great shoe. It's not the best max cushion daily trainer, but it's an awesome shoe and I love it. And again, I love it because it's half Hoka and it's half New Balance. There's a lot of good things to like about these shoes, and then for that, I think it's worth checking out if you got the chance. You never know, you might like it. So that was it for today, guys. Thank you very much for staying with me, for watching my videos. I promise I've got more videos coming now, like on a kind of more regular cadence. I've got a treadmill here with me, which is a small treadmill which I've been testing. I've got the Polar Ignite as well, which I'm going to do a review of, and I got more variables and more shoes and everything coming. I also got I've been testing a continuous glucose monitor in the last few weeks. Again, started just before Christmas, which was an exciting experience, and there's a lot more stuff coming again. Thankfully, trips are kind of start picking up again. I'm gonna go for a Brooks launch in a couple of weeks time, which I will I'm kind of planning on doing a little bit of a vlog about, and there's some other very, very super exciting stuff coming up as well. Might be, actually, funnily enough, I might go to the next London Marathon as well, the one this year in April, which may or may not happen. But what is most certainly happening is I signed up. Look, I've been invited to something called the Mongol 100, which is a 100-mile run over 4 days. So again, it's not on one day. So it's a 100-mile run over 4 days in Mongolia, which I'm like extremely excited about. Again, something I'm just trying to get some B-roll and videos and photos of that race, so I can kind of give you a bit of an overview of what I'm going to be doing. There's a webinar today about the what's called the rat race, Mongol 100. I started the training for that because it's like 51 or 52 days. So I'm running every day just to make sure my legs are familiar with a sort of like a prolonged long runs. It's not a race, obviously I don't have to run fast, but nevertheless, I just want to make sure that I'm all ready. Obviously, I'm going to be in Mongolia. It's not like I can just not finish the race because or sort of the run because I'm going to be there. I have to be able to run the 100 miles in 4 days. So that's coming as well. I also signed up for the Western Super Half Marathon, which is my local race. Signed up for park runs. I'll see how that goes. I've never done park runs before, so I'm kind of excited to see what that looks like. It's down in the Promenade, so not far from here as well. So again, there's a lot more content coming, guys. Thank you for staying with me. Again, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, liking the video, sharing the video, because obviously it means a lot to me. Anyhow, thanks a lot, guys. I shall see you very soon. Cheers, bye.